Welcome back to the Invisible Man Show by me, Stephen. I wasn't planning on doing a video today, but given the breaking news, I thought it'd be a good time to do one. But more on that shortly. Other news overnight: Rodri looks like he's signed a new deal, according to Fabrizio Romano, which is obviously positive. Apparently, one of the highest paid players at the club behind Haaland, which is probably about right, isn't it, in terms of where he ranks. You've got Haaland for the next 9 years or so, then Rodgers, and then a few will probably fall in behind that. One of them maybe being Dias, who looks like he's signing a new contract as well. And I think that's a good basis to turn the next page on sort of the newish City team, really, with Rodri, Haaland, Dias, Foden taking on hopefully a more important and senior role, and obviously Reinders come in, and Nori and people of that nature to hopefully kick on from the success we've had over the last few years. A few things about Dias, actually. I think he's criminally underrated by people outside of City. Just think about it. Just think about it for 2 seconds. If a Liverpool centre half or a United centre half had come in when the team was pretty much struggling at the back, then went on to be the leader of the team, obviously not the official captain, but essentially a leader of the team, that went on to win 4 leagues in a row and win the Champions League while he's at it. He wouldn't stop banging on about him. But for whatever reason, he's never quite given the credit he's deserved, in my view, outside of the City bubble. And I appreciate, his form over the last 12 months or so hasn't been great, but whose has been. And his performance in the Club World Cup perhaps wasn't up to standard. But again, that's like a pre-post season. I don't think you can read too much into that. But yeah, hopefully that new deal, him and Rodri, will be raring to go at the start of the season. Vitor Rice looks like he's on his way to Girona, or is on his way to Girona, which I think good, isn't it? He's not going to get games here this season behind who he's behind. We all know who they are, and your thoughts on them, whether you think they should stay or go, is pretty irrelevant, because it looks like they're going to stay due to the lack of offers, really. I mean, hopefully they would take a view and look to go, but presumably City have put it out there and they've had no takers, or we wouldn't be letting him go. Because if we kept him, he'd be on the bench, and his career would be, this season at least, wholly determined by who we get in the League Cup and FA Cup. And I don't think that's really fair on anyone. I think a good year out on loan for him, very similar to what I said about Simpson Pusin in the last video, that then maybe he can come back and play a significant role after this season. Echeverri, is he staying or is he going? We talk about going to Girona. He doesn't seem to fancy that. Talked about going to Roma, but they talk about they want a buy clause, we want a buy back clause. It's all a bit up in the air at the moment. But I think you have to incentivise the loan team. I mean, what's Roma's incentive to play Echeverri? He's not a seasoned international who they know what they're getting. He's our young player who we don't think is ready for first team football, seemingly. Although he did come on in the FA Cup final, which, in his view, might think, well, I might as well stick around because I've got every chance of getting on the pitch, and he might be right. But again, people are in front of him, aren't they? So I think he'll just hold on for now. He's not in a rush, is he, to make a decision? So maybe he can, maybe get on the pitch or be in the squad for the Palermo game, maybe hang around, see who gets injured, see who gets sold, see who leaves, and then he can take a view in the last week of the window and go from there. Because great Club World Cup we had afterwards, great free kick, played really well at the Under-21 World Cup, I believe. So he might be looking to push on to get into the full squad. So hopefully, he either gets a good squad position at City or gets a good loan move where he can play and not just sit on the bench for another 12 months. Because if he does, then we don't want this to turn into the James McAtee, do we? Where there's a player who we thought might be up to it. Turns out 3 years later, after a couple of dodgy loan moves and sporadic minutes in the team, that he's pretty much no good to us. And now we're looking to move him on. But no one seems to want him either, do they, McAtee? But we can speak with him another time. I'm not really that interested in James McAtee, to be honest. I think he'll be gone, and I don't think he'll be missed. He'll have a good Premier League career, I expect, but nowhere near at the level that City are at. Okay, yeah. The breaking news according to Ornstein and others is that Everton have approached City about Jack Grealish. Apparently, it's not an easy deal to do. Well, it isn't if you're Everton, is it? Because you haven't got 40 million quid or 300 grand a week to spend. That's what the complication is. So I think this will probably go on. Rumours that Spurs are interested as well. Yeah, but they're not going to give him that sort of wage, are they? They're not. I know they've got cash on the hip because they've sold Son and they're in the Champions League and they're looking for Maddison replacements. But Maddison doesn't earn 300 grand a week. And Grealish hasn't shown he's worth anything like that over his entire career, quite frankly, but certainly not since the treble. So I think this will rumble on. But again, I said yesterday in the other video that I'm pretty relaxed that Grealish will go. And I think he will. I think Everton and Spurs are very good options for him. Both for different reasons, but I think with the wages and City argue about loan fees and what he's happy with, what City are happy with, what they're happy to pay, etc. It'll go on for a few weeks, but I'm pretty confident that this will get done. If not to them, to somebody else, because it's pretty simple, isn't it? If Grealish wants to play for England again, particularly at the World Cup in the US this time next year, 10, 11 months' time, then he needs to take a haircut on his wages if necessary. Because I know people say he looked good in training yesterday. I'm really not interested. He's supposed to look good in training. It's what you do on the pitch, and he hasn't done a lot on the pitch for, well, again, outside of a good 9 weeks in the treble season. He's not up to it at this level. He's not up to it at City's level. So if you can get a good move to Everton, Spurs, West Ham, Napoli was mentioned earlier in the summer. Well, that'll do as far as I'm concerned. It should do as far as he's concerned as well, because he's not going to get in the England squad sat on City's bench, is he? I mean, he might not do that anyway. He might get it anyway. But if he plays 30 games for Everton or Spurs, then scores a few goals and gets back to this mythical player that people seem to think he is, then maybe you can there and prove me and others who have similar views like me wrong. But I doubt it. And I think we'll call it a day there. Actually, like I said, I wasn't planning on a video today. I'm going to do Palermo preview, which will be out on Friday. Like I said, I did them at a wedding on Friday, so I'll do it tomorrow, and then it'll be out on Friday, probably Friday lunchtime or something. So hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of that. If you disagree with anything I've said, or you'd like any topics we to cover, please drop a comment below, and also like the video as well, please. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, and see you again next time.